welcome to the video, and today we're going to be talking about the sniper ammo weapon variant, as well as every sniper in the game, including the Kraber. And we're just going to be going over a full guide of each weapon, going from left to right, and then the Kraber will be last. So we're just going to be talking about how you should be using each one of these weapons, as well as what attachments work best on these weapons. So let's get right into the video. So first up, we have the Sentinel. And the Sentinel is a pretty underwhelming weapon in my opinion. In the very beginning of the season, I was really liking it because, you know, my entire squad was running it in ranked, and we were, you know, hitting people for like 65 a shot, and we were able to basically like 3-tap people. So it was pretty awesome in that regard. But we quickly realized that the gun itself is definitely underperforming in terms of every other sniper, and it probably is the worst sniper on this entire rack. So, like, honestly, one of the best tips I can give for you guys is to just kind of avoid it, because it really is not that good. But if you're a big fan of the Sentinel, I won't stop you from using it, and I will help you out a little bit here. So obviously, if you have the best attachments on it, my favorite sight to run on the Sentinel is, of course, the 2x4, because I feel like the Sentinel is pretty awesome close range, honestly. You know, even though it struggles with everything else, I think that close range, it can be pretty solid, and I also like it long range, so that's why the 2x4 suits this weapon very well. It also works with 3x. The 3x is also pretty solid on it, but I think the 3x is solid on every sniper. So I think that you should be running with your snipers the 3x or the 2x4. This is the 4x10, or I don't know, what is this, the 6x10? Let me see. Yeah, the 4x10. Okay, so the 4x10, it's probably a little bit too much zoom for a sniper with bullet drop, but either way, if you're a big fan of it, you know, the thermal's not bad, but personally I don't like it. You know, whenever I get the golden one, I hate it, because I can never, you can't like no scope with it. It feels like the no scopes are like so far off from what they would be if you had like another sight on it. As you can see, I don't know why that happens. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like when you have a closer range scope, you know, your ability to no scope definitely goes up. That might just be speculation, but of course it feels like it's the truth. So next thing I want to talk about is the actual use of the battery. Honestly, like, if you have like 7 batteries, I'd say go for it. But other than that, I genuinely think it is just a waste of a battery. I think that the 100 body shot, whereas that is very good, it doesn't last for very long. The headshot is actually unaffected by it, and also I mean, batteries are so valuable, especially since the changes to the backpack. So you can't really hold as many batteries. I mean, you know, previously to this, when you could have 3 stacks of batteries and literally have 9 of them, you know, it's like whatever if you use it on the Sentinel, because it's, you know, you have 9 of them. But now, since you can only carry 2, not only are batteries looked at as more of a commodity, but also I would never want to waste one, because I don't really have them. You know, I don't have a million of them in the first place. And obviously, if this is a public match and you do tend to have like more batteries, you know, maybe you have 6, maybe you have 8, go for it. Honestly, like, what's it gonna hurt? You don't need 6 or 8 batteries, but I like to carry a lot of batteries just in case, because I get into fights a lot. But overall, I think that using the battery is actually just wasting a battery unless it's a public match or something, but in ranked I would advise against using it. So next up, we have the charge rifle, and the charge rifle, contrary to what a lot of people think, is still good. Okay, I absolutely love the charge rifle. But you have to know what to run on it. So clearly there's no extended sniper mag for the charge rifle, which is unfortunate, because the gun would still be literally meta if that were the case. But you need to understand that this gun benefits a lot with things like not this. You know, the charge rifle is a garbage weapon close range, so honestly I don't even like the 2x4 on it, but if I'm forced to use it, I will. And I don't even use the 2, I usually just use the 4. Because this gun really specializes in extremely long distance fights, and this is due to the hit scan properties of it. As you guys all know, this gun is a hit scan, and what that basically means is there is no bullet lead and there is no bullet drop. So basically I just aim at someone's head, and it's automatic. You don't have to lead your bullet, you don't have to do any of that. So basically with the charge rifle, you just want to aim at people, and that's why it's pretty awesome in my opinion, is because it can hit for 90 body shot if you hit them for everything, and you could just smoke people from halfway across the map. This weapon is also outstanding with the 4x10 because that 10 times zoom, like I said, I mean, this gun is just so absurd at distances. So if you're max distance away with this 10x, like, it's not even a problem for hitting people. Like, that is, like, if this guy was running, I'd be able to laser him off a rotation, no problem at all. So I think that the charge rifle should definitely be used at, like, maximum distance ranges. I think it benefits a lot from having the 4x8 or the, you know, you can even get away with the 6x. I really like the 6x on it as well. But overall, I think that using the longer range sights on this weapon is much more beneficial than anything, whereas on all my other snipers, I actually tend to go with the 2x4s. But on the charge rifle, I think it is so amazing to use the longer sights since there is no bullet drop and there's no penalty from you being max distance away. So you can just pick at people all day, and it's extremely effective. So the next weapon up, we have the Longbow. And the Longbow is honestly my favorite sniper. I really love the Longbow. And I'll tell you exactly why. So the Longbow is one of the only weapons in the game, in my opinion, that can compete with the G7. So as you guys know, the G7 rapid fire AR can be used at ranges. Extremely effective. And I think that the Longbow with the 55 body shot is absolutely outstanding. Also, the ability to hit like a 118 on the headshot, I mean, that's 2 bullets on a guy. If you land 2 headshots, they're basically downed. And if you land a headshot and a body shot, like, they're basically dead as well. Unless they're full health, full shield, they're really not going to survive it. Another thing about the Longbow is that there's, as you can tell, 12 sniper rounds in a mag if you have the purple mag. And that's outstanding because you can have the ability to just keep shooting. So as you can see, it really is a lot of ammo. Like, 12 is a lot of shots for a mag. The higher DPS of the Longbow makes it a must pick up. I genuinely think it's the best sniper in the game, other than the Kraber, obviously. So I think if you guys are sleeping on the Longbow, I promise you this could be your favorite sniper. But one thing to note about the Longbow is that the actual drop off of it and the bullet lead, it's a lot. So basically, as you can see right here, at 400 meters, you know, there is considerable bullet drop. You know, you're not going to hit it if you aim right at it. At about 400 meters, you're probably not even going to hit your target if you aim right at it at 300. But one thing that people do not use or underutilize is, see those little numbers right there, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5. You basically match that up with the distance. So as you can see, 400 meters away, you go to the 4, which means 400, and that is actually an indicator of where your crosshair is actually going to hit. So as you can see, you line up the 4 with the middle of the target, and it hits it. So as you can see, it works every time. Move to the side a little bit, you can see it's pretty much dead on. So if you're ever trying to hit a long snipe, take the guesswork out of it, because there really doesn't have to, you don't have to be guessing where your shot's going to be if you have a sight like this, because it will literally tell you. It will not tell you on the 2x4, so you'll just have to kind of have it down to memory, muscle memory that is, and just knowing exactly, you know, where you should be shooting. But that's for most snipers in the game. The Sentinel's the same way. They have a decent amount of bullet drop, so you're definitely going to want to aim a little bit above the target. And I like going for headshots because they're super rewarding, so I aim pretty much a lot higher than the target's head. So next up, we have the triple take. So the triple take is like, it's a really weird weapon for me, and I'll explain why to you, because I just feel like with the precision choke, it doesn't, I don't know, I feel like it's not as consistent, and I think that I'm just wrong with that, so don't even listen to what I'm saying. But the triple take with the precision choke is a very good weapon. It also has bullet drop. I feel like a lot of people say it doesn't, but I mean, you know, it clearly does. I mean, as you can see, like, you know, that's clearly, yeah, it clearly has a lot of bullet drop. because if you were to aim directly above the target, it still barely hits, and it wasn't even hitting the one time. You know, so you just want to keep that into account, that this is not a hit scan either, even though it was an energy weapon. It still has bullet drop. The bullet drop is not as prominent as the longbow, I feel like. You know, but as long as you're following the those little numbers on it, you'll hit it. I prefer the triple take with the 2x4 or the 3. Like I said before, I prefer all of my snipers with the exception of the charge rifle with the 2x4 or 3. I think they're very, very good on it. And the triple take with the precision choke can literally chunk people for like 144. I've seen it hit. I've actually been smoked by it for 144 as well at the beginning of the game. And that's something I want to bring up to you guys as well. The triple take without without a scope is like arguably just as good. You know, you could smack people in the beginning of the game, you know, if you just have the triple take, no precision choke, nothing on it. Like, you can use this weapon as a shotgun, so don't think that this is just a sniper, because I promise you, like, this gun is literally a shotgun as well, and it hits for higher than the Peacekeeper sometimes. It's not exactly hard to land your shots, and at a distance, like, look at that, no shotgun could ever do that. So the fact that this is like kind of like a shotgun sniper deal, and even the hip fire is pretty good as well. So, like, you know, you can hit people pretty hard with it. It's definitely preferable to aim in because, like I said, it's a sniper, and if you can tighten the three bullets, then you're going to smack people. But I promise you, if you're using it early game, just try to, like, people think it's really, really bad early game because it's a sniper, but it's literally a shotgun. Early game, this weapon is a shotgun, and you can use it late game with as a shotgun as well, but, you know, obviously it's not preferable. So one thing to note is that there is 3 horizontal bullets that come out, so just keep that in mind. You know, aiming for like chest area, you're going to get maximum effectiveness out of that in terms of your aim, especially at a distance without the precision choke. Headshots obviously chunk for a lot. Overall, the triple take is a solid weapon, and you could use it either with, you could even use the 1x on it. Honestly, this is probably the only sniper in the game that I'd say you can get away with using things like this on it. But I'd say, you know, 2x, 1x are solid on it. I'd say you could pretty much run any sight on it except these 3. I would advise against it unless it was the only thing you have. But overall, triple take, pretty slept on, and even with the precision choke, it is pretty dirty. In case you guys are not aware of what the precision choke actually does, here is a shot without it, here is one with it. So it basically just makes it 1 bullet. It tightens the spread a ton, so the 3 bullets basically land, and they act as 1, so it tightens the spread a lot and it just acts as 1 bullet. So just keep that in mind, it will no longer shoot the 3 shells. And last on the list, we have the Kraber. So the Kraber is probably my favorite sniper. I love using the Kraber. It does a ton of damage. It's an insta-kill for a headshot. I think if they have a gold helmet, they could survive it sometimes, because I'm almost positive I've hit people with a headshot from the Kraber and they've tanked it. I know Gibby can. Gibby can actually like tank 2 Kraber shots if he hits a shield cell. Or at least he was able to before his arm shield got patched. If he had his arm shield up with purple shield, he was actually able to tank 2 Kraber shots, which is ridiculous because I think Gibraltar and Caustic take 123 from the Kraber. So one thing to note with Kraber is it also has a ton of bullet drop. As you can see, that's a lot. So it's actually a lot more than the longbow, than any other sniper in the game. As you can see, you line up the 4 with how far away it is, and you can see how much it actually drops. So the Kraber is actually, you know, not actually good long distances. So don't try to be using it as like a 400-meter snipe. You're probably just wasting ammo. I mean, I've hit one before, and I've hit a couple like 400-meter snipes before with the Kraber, but like overall, you know, it's very difficult, and the target basically has to be standing still because you're basically just throwing up a prayer every time you shoot this weapon, and the ammo is very, very precious. So you don't just want to be rattling off Kraber shots unless it's like the end of the game, because once you use all the ammo, and there really is not a lot to start with, you're just done. You have to throw away the whole weapon. It's useless. So you start out with 12 shots, and that is literally like one mag of a longbow. It's not a lot, but the body damage is a ton. The Craver can easily shift a fight. So basically, rule of thumb for the Kraber, if you're aiming at long distances, just you want to make sure you account for the bullet drop. It has a ton. Another thing to note about the quick scoping, if you are ever going to quick scope, you just have to be in the scope before it actually registers. If you are like this, or like try to do that, it's going to register as a quick scope, whereas if you aim in, it will then go exactly where you want it to. So just keep that in mind if you're trying to quick scope. You actually have to be inside of the scope for it to actually count. Otherwise, you will miss. As you can see, I was not far enough in the scope, so it did not count. It just counted as a no scope, and my bullet went astray. So I think that's pretty much it for the Kraber. You just want to note that there is a lot of bullet drop off. Also, that you should always be aiming for the head with the Kraber, because the headshot is so rewarding. It's basically an instant knock. So you just want to aim for the head, because if you can get a knock on a team, your team is going to probably win just off of that fight, because the knock is so important, especially in ranked. If you get a knock with a Kraber, or even a body shot, if you can body shot 2 of their players, like, it's so rewarding. So for the Kraber, you just want to basically save your ammo. You don't want to just be rattling off shots or trying to do no scopes like I was talking about before. That's not really like the practical use of the weapon. So that's just if you want to get fancy or do something cool, but overall you don't want to waste too many of your ammo, because like I said before, you only get 12 shots. So basically take advantage of the fact that it has 1,000,000 damage. Keep in mind that a headshot is basically an insta down. Be mindful of your ammo and don't try to waste it, and also account for, in the long shots, account for the massive bullet drop that you will be facing. So I think that's pretty much it for the snipers. I think I covered just about everything. Like I said, if I forgot something and you guys have a certain tip that you guys like to use for snipers, just comment it below. No one's really wrong in this situation, especially with the attachments. Like I said, a lot of these attachments are really just my opinion. With the exception of the charge rifle, I genuinely believe that the charge rifle should be used with any of these long distance scopes, but the 2x4 can work if you like that. So that's pretty much it for today's video. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.